All right, for more on this, I'm now being joined by Jonathan Liz from London. He's the Deputy Director of the think tank British Influence. He's also a journalist. Thank you so much for joining me, Jonathan. Starting off with stock markets across the world. Of course, they have tumbled in what investors dubbed the Black Monday. This was expected. How do you see the market reaction, considering that Trump has vowed to not back down on these tariffs?
Well, we are in uncharted territory. In the past, when people have done incredibly stupid things, they've pulled back from the brink. A good example being what happened here in Britain 3 years ago when Liz Truss, the ill-fated Prime Minister of 7 weeks, launched her own completely destructive economic policy. The pound crashed, global investors fled, and within a few days, she was removed from office. And the policy had been reversed. That seems unlikely now because Donald Trump is incredibly powerful and, more importantly, has an iron grip over the Republican Party, which seems to be in the grip of a personality cult. And very, very few Republican lawmakers are prepared to defy him or even challenge him. He really is treated as some kind of emperor that cannot be touched. And that is very, very dangerous because if he continues with this course, which he is obviously personally set on, then we don't know how markets will continue to respond, because you have a sort of a momentum building with a fire spreading, where each market takes shock and that sort of feeds into each other. And so it goes into free fall with everything going, and we don't know where the floor to that might be. And also, importantly, we don't know where the retaliations end. Because the United States is not the only country with politics. Other countries also have politics and electorates and national interests.
I hear your point. You talk about the downfall and, of course, the kind of slump that it is heading towards. How severe do you feel and how long do you feel this market slump will weigh on global economic growth?
Well, again, it's impossible to say. If Trump reverses course, then maybe there could be some kind of market improvement or correction. If he sort of stays firm, then we could go into that free fall that I mentioned. We don't know where the floor to that might be because this is completely uncharted territory. We've never had an example of a major economy sort of self-immolating like this, completely voluntarily. The closest we came to it, I suppose, was Britain's decision to leave the European Union. And Britain is obviously a much smaller economy, and it was much more of a slow puncture, although we did have a major downturn in the pound and in investor confidence after that referendum in 2016. But this is on a different order of magnitude. We just don't know how stupid the United States intends to be by declaring economic war on the entire world at the same time.
Jonathan, as far as the free fall is concerned, and in this kind of market climate, what should investors be doing?
Well, that's a really good question. They might see that Trump is going to be here for the next 4 years. He has no grasp on economic policy or how the world works. He's convinced himself that the United States is being ripped off by everyone. And he's prepared to destroy the US economy to prove some kind of point or to settle some kind of personal animus. Now, if that happens, there is no incentive whatsoever for investors to make any kind of cash injections into the United States because there's complete uncertainty. And if they were to make investments in factories, for example, in the United States, in 4 years' time, that policy could be reversed by a new president who would be unlikely to continue the kind of economic policies being advanced by President Trump. So really what we're looking at is a major recession in the United States and probably in the world as well, and consumer slowdown.
I hear your point. Jonathan Liz, thank you so much for joining me. That was, again, Jonathan Liz joining us from London. Always a pleasure speaking with you.
Thanks.